Delta loop antenna is a full wavelength antenna in the shape of the Greek alphabet delta. The antenna forms a delta shape with limbs like an equilateral triangle. Though it can be made with base at the top, bottom or sides, practically it will be easy to have the base at the top as shown in the picture below. It will need a 4:1 balance at the feed point for impedance matching. Otherwise, the SWR, standing wave ratio, will be high. As with the half wave dipole antenna, a delta loop antenna for 7 MHz will also function well with the odd multiple frequency of 21 MHz. On 14 MHz, the antenna impedance is high and SWR will be high. For the center of 7 MHz amateur radio band with frequency of 7.1 MHz, the length of the delta loop will be 43.14 meter. Delta loop antenna is fairly easy to construct if you can put up two strong poles. Recommended height is above 18.3 meters for a 40 meter antenna, which comes down to 4.6 meter for a 15 meter delta loop. Here you can see almost 8 segments of display. That's noise in the evening. Daytime it is not seen. In my location there is no transmission going on and the noise is there with the 5/8 lambda collinear antenna. This is the same frequency, just 2 segment noise on delta loop VHF antenna which I had homebrewed recently. It is well known that loop antennas have lower noise level. That's exactly why I tried to homebrew this antenna, because I had no space to mount a bigger antenna like HF antenna. So just for the fun of documenting lower noise level, I have homebrewed a delta loop antenna for VHF. This is again with the delta loop antenna on local repeater frequency. The repeater net is going on. Between the transmissions you can see that there are only 2 segments of noise. The same net on 5/8 lambda collinear antenna. If you closely see between the transmissions, you can see 8 segments of noise. For VHF in my region, this can be documented only in the evening time, because daytime there won't be much of noise. And as we use the squelch, it may not appear during our routine work as well. When the squelch is being used, the noise will not be appreciated in the speaker. It will be seen only as the signal in the display. The full loop antenna for VHF, which I had made yesterday, could be mounted in multiple configurations. So I decided to test the delta loop configuration with feed point at the lower part. The matching was done using a quarter wavelength piece of 75 ohms RG6 TV cable instead of the 4:1 balance. A piece of electrical wiring channel was fixed at right angles on a PVC pipe with a diameter of about 1¼ inch, and it was 2 meters long. Marked 35 centimeters to either side and fixed portions of the loop at either ends so that it will be the upper part of the equilateral triangle. Lower part was fixed on the PVC pipe itself, and below that the matching section was there. I used just electrical tape to fix it because this was a prototype and this is not the final version. I'm just going to test it. Feed line was 15 meters of RG213 cable which I had surplus in my shack. The antenna was mounted on the parapet of first floor terrace on that 2 meter long PVC pipe, so that the total height from the ground will be about 6 meters. You can see my Moxon Yagi beside it, which is a little more higher than this antenna. Now I am on Calicut repeater frequency 145.625 with minus 600 shift, and I can get easy access with full scale reflection of 12 segments on my signal strength meter. I am now on Thiru repeater frequency 145.450 negative shift 600. I can get access fairly well. Signal strength for Thiru repeater, which is about 30 kilometers from here, is 8 segments, while that of Calicut repeater, which is hardly 3-4 kilometers from here, is full 12 segments. Next step was to check the SWR using an SWR meter, for which I used a patch cable with PL259 connectors at both ends to connect the radio to the SWR meter. Now I am going to test SWR on the reverse of Thiru repeater frequency 144.850. You can see that it is below 1.2 and above 1.1. I have tested it 3 or 4 times. Now I am going to change to Kannur repeater. You can see that the SWR again is around 1.2. Next I have changed to Vadagara repeater. That also similarly SWR is nearly 1.2. This is Kozhikode or Calicut repeater. SWR is a little more lower or almost 1.2. Next I will test. This is Wayanad repeater on a lower side. That is also having similarly low SWR below 1.2. The SWR in this cross needle SWR meter is measured at the crossover point of the 2 needles. That is how you test it. Now I am testing the uplink frequency of International Space Station 145.990. That is also acceptable SWR. Now for a curiosity's sake, I checked on the downlink frequency of International Space Station, and it is higher a little bit, maybe around 1.4 or so. I am happy that overall SWR is good in VHF band, and even UHF band it is reasonable, though I am not planning to transmit on UHF because International Space Station needs only reception on UHF. Next step will be to test reception during net timings for VHF and possibly listening to some passes of International Space Station which are of high elevation, which I presume could be picked up at least partly with this delta loop antenna. Still later maybe I'll have to elevate the height a little more because this is now much lower than my other antennas. VU3 India X-ray Victor, VU3 India X-ray Victor, do you copy? Victor Uniform 2 Juliet Oscar, calling and listening. VU3 India X-ray Victor, do you copy? Victor Uniform 2 Juliet Oscar, calling and listening. Roger, fantastic copy. As I told you on HF, I am just testing out the delta loop antenna for VHF. VU3 India X-ray Victor, V2 Juliet Oscar. Roger, VU3 IXV, V2 Juliet Oscar. This is very simple to make. I just measured 210 centimeters of a 2.5 square millimeter electric wire, insulated copper wire kept in the shape of a delta, inverted delta, and then connected the one end with a 75 ohms matching section, quarter wavelength. I think that was about around 40 centimeter, nearly that. Considering the velocity factor, I forgot the exact measurement. Anyway, it is less than 50 centimeter. And then I have connected to the RG213 cable which I had surplus, and that is about 15 meter. All the connections are just twisting the ends and not soldering, and then I have put tape over that, insulation tape, to keep them firm. As this is testing only, I didn't want to solder any joint. And it has been mounted on a PVC pipe 2 meter long, so that the total height from the ground will be about 6 meters. That is the info for you. VU3IXV with Juliet Oscar. That is what I said. There is no balun. I read down online that you can use a 75 ohms TV cable. RG6 TV cable can be used as a matching section, quarter wavelength. But quarter wavelength, you have to calculate the velocity factor also. So velocity factor 0.75 means it will be only 3/4 of the usual quarter wavelength of the frequency. VU3IXV with Juliet Oscar. I am getting an SWR below 1.2. I have not trimmed the antenna, I have just kept it as what I made it. This 75 ohms cable is meant for matching. Usually delta loop antenna needs 4:1 balun. 4:1 balun. I do not have it. So I read down the Pacific online calculator. There is an online, if you just search net, there is an online calculator for loop antennas. I have posted it online also. Yesterday I had posted it online. And that loop antenna, everything is given on that page. How to calculate the matching section also is given there, considering the velocity factor of the cable which you are using. That is only quarter wavelength matching section. After that I am using the RG213 cable. QSL. Okay, thanks a lot for coming to this frequency and participating in this demo. Actually, I have just recorded it also. VU3IXV with Juliet Oscar. Okay, Roger, I am also planning to try it for the International Space Station coming at 9:10 a.m. At least whether I can receive the station, and if my luck is there, I will try to contact some station also. Okay, 73s and all the best. Bye bye. VU to Juliet Oscar.
I got Dr. John anymore? Yes, sir. I got V3 X-ray Richard anymore? V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. I have a big list other spaces standby. Preference was to direct session. V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. காலை வணக்கம் கணேசன் அண்ட் தீபாவளி வாழ்த்துக்கள் உங்களுக்கு. பட் V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. எல்லாருக்கும் காலை வணக்கம், அனைவருக்கும் தீபாவளி வாழ்த்துக்கள். அப்புறம் பொள்ளாச்சி condition morning here. Good signal through repeater. Regular checking out of the governor QRU 73. V3 Echo Uniform Echo. This is V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. Other V3 Golf Hotel Romeo. This is Echo Uniform. Nice to meet you, dear Ganesh from Morning and evening through this repeater. Audio and thanks for the teaching. With the tomorrow also possible, Sadhguru take our wonderful Victor of course Vijayalakshmi from Nandapalli Palakkad. Thanks for standing by. Diwali Asamsagar.
U3 Echo Uniform Echo. Good morning to Echo Uniform Echo and Railway checking in our traffic from D-Bike 1 and out. Guideline 73 over to Echo Uniform Echo. Victor of Castle.
Other Victor of Castle, this is Vijay Clark. Nice to meet you. Vijayalakshmi through repeater. Now get very good copy and thanks for checking. Thanks for the teaching. So the tomorrow also possible, Sadhguru take and put it. Yangi my hotel, Stadium from Contactel. Good morning and Diwali meeting. Go ahead. Echo Uniform Echo, Yankee Mike Hotel. Good morning, Sanava and artist name is frequency. And Diwali greetings are over this bed. You're coming in fine and prosper. WS is 27 degrees family, this time and sunny and comfortable cold morning. No traffic, 73. V3 Echo Uniform Echo, V3 Yankee Mike Hotel. Over. Yankee Mike Hotel, this is Vijay Clark from Good morning. They are sharing from Contactel. Final purpose, I can copy you. Yours also, I can tell about your weather report and thanks for sharing your report, the police report also. You have the best conditions in the morning. 30.9 degrees Celsius, 60% humidity. Thanks for the meeting. Now the great take care. Bye-bye. This is Charlie of Papa, Dr. Sham from Jiniyalakuda. Suprabhata and Diwali meeting. What? VU3 Echo Uniform Echo, VU3 CEP. Good morning, Channel Deep. Good morning, all stations on frequency. Channel is coming in 59 in Jiniyalakuda. Sunday morning, 26 degrees Celsius. You are ready for the next? Wishing everybody a happy Diwali. Have a great day. Take care. VU3 Echo Uniform Echo, VU3 CEP signing up. Thank you. Charlotte at Papa, this is Vijay Clark. I'm here at Dr. Lovely Hospital morning and evening. Non-unit hospital, beautiful audio, and thanks for sharing your weather report and thanks for the teaching. Have a great day, sir. Bye-bye. This session is V3 Sierra Yankee Postcode, Sajima from Kalakeri, Kadiru. Which signal? Go ahead. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody on the frequency. Karim, Jalasi, and everybody on the frequency. Diwali greetings also. Plus, good copy. 28 is the challenge here also. This is Echo Uniform Echo, we are Yankee Foxtrot. Over. This is Yankee Foxtrot, we are Echo Uniform Echo. Good morning. Again, Lawrence here, very good copy. Non-unit of reporter. Thundering audio. And thanks for the greeting. Same greetings to student 1, Sadhguru and Taikar Bye. This is Bravo, into Bravo Hotel. Bashir from Edapar. Suprabhata and Diwali Asamsagar.
Very good morning to you, Sanawat, and everybody listening on frequency, and happy Diwali greetings to one and all on frequency. You are fine and good, very good signal here today. Also, Diwali for the next 73 you later. We use the Echo Uniform Echo. This is VU2 Bravo Hotel Foxtrot. Over.
This is Bravo Hotel Foxtrot. This is Echo Uniform Echo. Good morning. We are Bashir from Edapar. Fine and breakfast, but the rest of the scene, I think you are operating Japa. And thanks for the greetings. Same greetings to Sadhguru Taikar. Bye-bye. John from Kalika, Suprabhatam, Namaskaram. Diwali Asamsagar. Go ahead.
Roger. VO3 Echo Uniform Echo with Juliet Oscar. Good morning, Sean 59 plus. Diwali Asamsagar to each and everyone on frequency. I am testing out a new antenna, full wave delta loop antenna for VHF with a matching section of 75 ohms cable of quarter wavelength and an RG213 cable of 15 meter. Please give me a critical report. VO3 Echo Uniform Echo V to Juliet Oscar.
Juliet Oscar, this is India Uniform. One non-enough reporter. That's a beautiful copy, and reverse copy is I think you are operating with a very low power. Your antenna doing well, and keep it up. Sound the train, and thanks for the greetings. Bye-bye. With India Extra, Museum Brahman from Karak, Ranadera, Supramadam, Diwali Asansakal. Okay, good morning to all. Good morning to all substation. Good copy, finance plus Nigeria. Happy Diwali to all stations and listeners. Have a nice day and 7:50. Uniform call is here.
Contact.
Goodbye. Museum from Karak, finance request, and thanks for the greetings. Sound the train, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Contact. For IXV on Calicut repeater. You can see the delta loop antenna for VHF being turned manually by turning the PVC pipe on which it has been mounted. The aim is to orient the broad side of the antenna in the direction of the path of International Space Station coming here in this region in about an hour. It's an overhead pass, so I hope to contact at least one station using this delta loop VHF antenna receiving on UHF as third harmonic. Let us see. I am planning to use the newly made delta loop VHF antenna for this pass of International Space Station. It is an 87-degree pass from the southeast to northeast. So it will be passing almost overhead from me with the maximum elevation 87 degrees. Now you can see that the elevation is 0 degrees. The satellite is in range, but I will not be hearing anything now, and I don't expect also, because this is just a delta loop antenna for VHF, not even for UHF. I checked the SWR on UHF, which is about 1.2 or so, or a little more than that. On VHF it is 1.2. So on uplink there should be no problem with 1.2 SWR. For this delta loop I am using 2.5 square millimeter copper wire. I have rotated the antenna so that the broad side will be along the pass direction. We know that delta loop antenna has bidirectional propagation to either side. On the broad side of the antenna, perpendicular to that the radiation will be minimal, and it can work on harmonics. That is why I hope that I will be able to hear International Space Station, which has a downlink on UHF, which will be almost the third harmonic of the VHF frequency. In high elevation passes I have seen that I will not hear anything even with the usual antenna for about 20-25 degrees of elevation on either side when the satellite comes above the horizon, and also before the satellite goes beyond the horizon. So I am not expecting anything now. It's only 9 degrees now. Maybe if I am lucky I will hear something when the satellite is around 20 degrees. I will be tuning the Doppler according to what is seen on this Argentinian AMSAT website. This is a HTTPS site. Usually we were using the HTTP site. Now we are using the HTTPS site. You can see the tail end is PASS. Only PA is seen here. You have to type pass.htm. Hotel Tango Mike. That is a URL. Satellite is in the northwest, and from northwest it will go to southeast. Earlier when I had mentioned northeast. It is not northeast, it is northwest to southeast. That is the path direction. It's already 18 degrees. In between I thought I heard some signal, but nothing great. Now we are hearing some signal. What you heard just now is VU2 Romeo Tango Fox, VU2 Romeo Tango Foxtrot, VU2 RTF Fainley.
Radio Tango Foxtrot.
Juliet Oscar, do you copy?
Juliet Oscar, RTF 519, QSL.
QSL, thank you very much. I am using Delta Loop antenna.
Juliet Oscar, Radio Tango Fox 519.
Roger, V2 RTF, V2 JF 519.
UISS, Victor Uniform to Radio Tango Fox.
You can see that up to 4 segments of display was there. So it's doing a good job even on UHF. This is a very simple and easy to make delta loop antenna. I already posted it earlier. I can still copy you very well.
You are also 519, you are 519.
Roger, I am on delta loop antenna. Now the satellite is about 25 degrees. When I thought that I won't be hearing again, it came again. Oh, I am still hearing Kyoto Romeo Tango Foxtrot. So let me thank Kyoto Romeo Tango Foxtrot for coming upon Aris and giving me a good demonstration. I had talked to him over HF today morning and he had promised to come on a satellite 73s.